Okay. Welcome back to part 10 EMS. In this video, we want to look at a question of financial literacy. And this question is on journals, and we're going to go through this question and then answer the questions that follow. The question reads, Lincoln Koo, the proud owner of sweet and salt dealers, opened his business on 1 March 2018. The following transactions took place during the month of May 2018. Business uses a markup of 60% on cost price. So what does it mean? When we are saying markup, remember we have got a formula that we have that we are supposed to know, that we say the cost price plus our markup will give us our selling price. So the markup is an addition that is there on the cost price to give you selling price. So in this case, remember the cost price is always 100%. So here we put 100%, and then the markup depends with the question, varies with the question. In this case, we put a markup of 60%, which means we are going to say plus 60%. And when we do that, we are going to get 160%. So this is the representation that we have there on markup. Then we go to instructions and information. On instructions and information, it reads, use the information provided to record the transactions in the following journals. That is 4.1. It requires you the cash receipts journal, and we've got other journals that are going to follow. So if you go down, you'd see that we are going to prepare from 5.1, 5.4. Then we put a note that we have there, which is reads important. Do not close off journals on 31 May 2018. So what does it mean? It means after preparing the journals, we are not supposed to close them off. Let's take note of this instruction. Then we go to the next section where we are given the transaction for May 2018. Then for the first transaction, we are having 5 May. So this is 5 May 2018. And it reads issued invoice 36 to Penley for 1,200 for merchandise supplied to her on credit. So the keyword that we have in this transaction is that it was supplied on credit. So if it was on credit, it means there was no cash movement. So we are not going to enter it in the cash receipt journal, since we do not have money movement that is there. So whenever there's credit, we issue an invoice on credit. It means we are going to enter it in the debtors journal. So this is what we have. So we are just going to transfer this transaction in the debtors journal. So let's take note of the details of this transaction. The date, it was 5 May. And then in terms of the document number column, we've got invoice 36, which you have to take note, and then the amount 1,200. And if you come here, if you go to the answer section, and we are just going to look for the data's journal. Remember, the data's journal is on item 5.3. That's where we've got the data journal of sweet and sour dealers for May 2018. So this is the data's journal that we have here. Let's try to see and enter what is required there. So on this data's journal, remember we've already taken note of the document number, the day, and then we can enter those ones on the document number. Remember, we are saying the document number that we have is invoice 36. We can just go back to refer to that document number. If you come here, you'd see that the document number that we're given is invoice number 36. So this is our document number, which is invoice 36, and the date is 5. The amount is 1,200. So we can just go back and enter as such. Here we are saying the date is 5. So we put 5 here. We can just enter 05. And then on document number, we've got invoice number 36. So we're going to have our 36 here. And on debtors, we're going to put the name of the data that we've issued the invoice to, which is our Penley. So we can just enter here Penley. And then on the folio, we can just put our D1 to represent that this is our data one. And then the amount that we have, we put 1,200. And here, this small column represents cents. So we're just going to put 00. And then on cost of sales, remember, we've got a formula that we have devised there that we want to use, that we said cost price, plus markup, giving us our selling price. So this is the formula that we have, and you'd see that the cost price is always 100%. So what are we saying? We are saying this cost price is always fixed at 800%. The markup is the one which changes from question to question. You see that in this question we're given it is 60%. So we're going to say plus 60%, and our selling price always would depend on the addition of the cost price plus markup. So in this case, it's 160%. So the figure that we are given here, 1,200, represents the selling price. So we are just going to say 1,200 representing our selling price, 1,200 here. And then we are given the figure that we are looking for is the cost price, which is this one. So we are looking for this figure. So if we have the same price, it means you can have the cost price by using proportion. So how can we use proportion there? We are just going to say, let's just try to see. We're just going to say our 160% is equals to 1,200. So the figure that we are looking for is 100%. Then we can just make a proportion out of that. So how can we make the proportion? We can just use a formula by saying, let's just use a formula by saying what you don't have over what you have, and then you multiply by the given figure. So what it means, you have to present it first in this formula, present it in this form, and whereby when you present it in this form, you know that what we have in this case is this one, 100%, 160% represents what we have, and then 100% represents what you don't have. So this is what we have there. By having 160% is what we have, and then 100% is what you don't have, since we do not have the figure for 100% here. So this is what it means. When 160% we are given, it's 1,200, so it means this is the figure that we have, and this one is the given figure. So you can just put it in that formula by saying now what you don't have is 100%. What we have is 160%, and then you multiply by the given figure, which is 1,200 over 1. So you multiply there, the figure that we're supposed to get there, if you multiply correctly, is 750. So this is the cost price. So this is representing the cost price, or the cost of sales. So this is our cost of sales. So this is what we have. So we're just going to put our 750 representing our cost of sales. So if you come here, we put a column for cost of sales that we have there. So what it means, we're going to come here and say 750, and then obviously we have no sense here, so we can just put it as such. Then we can go back to see what we are supposed to do in terms of the next transaction. So we can go back to the question. So coming here, we go to this is now 9 May 2018. It reads issued check 61 to books for sellers for 9,880 rands for the following items. So we put merchandise for 3,900 rands, packing material for 1,380 rands, and the balance was for 8 print. So you see that the key area that we have in this statement is here, that the balance was for 8 print. So what does it mean? The total amount that was there, that was on the check, is 9,880, but out of 9,980, 3,900 was for merchandise, and 1,380 was for packing material. So what does it mean? We can just present it here by saying 9,880 is total. Then after out of the 9,980, we put 3,900 for merchandise. So this one is for merchandise. And then for packing materials, we have put 1,380. So and then the balance was for HP printer, which means that if you subtract 9,800, it is the total minus 3,900 minus 1,300 and let's try to see 1,380. You are going to get the figure for the HP printer that we have there. So if you subtract there, you see that the figure that you're going to get there is 4,600. So here we've got 4,600. So this one is for the HP printer. So we are just going to allocate them as such there in the cash payments journal. Remember, this transaction is reading issued check 61 to Brooks or seller. So when you're issuing check, it means we are making a payment. So it means this transaction, we are going to post it in the cash payments journal. Because we've got a payment that is being made there in the form of check. So the details of this transaction, this date is 9 May. We have got the document number, which is check 61. So this is what we have. We're going to enter, and then we can now enter the total amount in the bank column for 9,880. Then we break down the 9,980 into we've got merchandise, which is a part of our trading stock, 3,900 trading stock, and then we've got the issue of packing material, which we are going to enter in the column of sundry accounts. And then the remainder is HP printer, where you are going to put in the equipment column. So we can just go there and put them as such. We are now on the cash payment journal, which means we are in this journal. So we are going to say for document number, remember we've got 61. And then for the day, remember it's 9, so we can just say 09. And the name of payee, let's just try to see, or in terms of the name of the payee, who are we writing the check to? The check is being written to Brooks wholesalers, so we can just go there and indicate it as Brooks wholesalers. So we can just say B, indicating Brooks, and then we say wholesalers. So this is what we have. Then in the folio column, we can just leave it blank. And remember the total amount that we have is 9,808, which is makes no sense here. Then this 9,880 is being broken down into trading stock for packing materials, which is 3,900. So it means here we've got 3,900. And then equipment, we have got 4,600. This was the remainder for HP printer. So this equipment is the one that is representing the HP printer. So because the HP printer represents equipment, so we are saying the balance that we got for the HP printer was 4,600. So this is what we have. So you see that we do not have the column for packing materials. That's why we are putting it in the sundry accounts. So we are now saying 1,380. So here we are saying 1,380 is the amount. And then on the description of this 1,300, remember is packing material. So here we are just going to write packing material. So this is what we have in terms of this transaction. Then remember the amount is 1,380 and there are no cents, so we can put 00 there. So we can go back again to check on the next transaction how we are going to enter that one. Right, we are now on 14 May. We are now on 14 May, so we can just try to see. So we are saying we are now on a transaction that's transpired on 14. So we are here. And it reads penally returned unsatisfactory goods to the value 480 rands. Goods were not according to sample, issued credit notes 09. So whenever goods are returned, we know that these are when goods are returned by a customer. Remember, Pendley is our customer. Pendley, we are seeing that at the beginning of the transaction, we've got Pendley here, which means we sold goods to Pendley, but Pendley has returned the goods. So these ones we call them sales returns. They are sales returns. Or we can call them returns inwards. We can also call them returns inwards, meaning the same thing. And in which journal, what is important is for you to identify which journal are entering this. And whenever we make sales, whenever there are sales returns, we are supposed to represent them in the debtors allowance journal. So we've got the debtors allowance journal record where we record all sales returns that has taken place. So let's take note of the details of transaction. The date is 14. and then we are having a value of 408 of goods that were retained, and the document number is credit note 09. So this is what we have in terms of this debtors allowance journal. So we are just going to enter those as such in the debtors allowance journal. So if you come here, we can just try to check where we have that debtors allowance journal. So you'd see that the debtors allowance journal, we have it at 5.4, and we are having document number column. We are going to put the credit note 09, which is credit note 9. So we're just going to say CN representing credit note 09. And then the day, remember, is 14. So we're going to put our 14 here. And the data that is retained the goods is Penley. So we are just going to make the description here by saying Penny Lee. Then on the folio, you are just going to say, remember, this is D1. This is the folio that we put in the data, which is D1 here. So we are just going to say again D1 here. And then the debtors allowance, this is the amount that we have. That's the amount of the goods that has been retained is 480. So we are just going to say 480. Then we calculate the cost of sales of those goods which are 480. So remember, we are saying to calculate cost of sales, you make a proportion using that formula that we say cost price plus markup give us a selling price. So this is what we have. So when we're saying cost price is 100%, and then markup according to the question is 60%, and then 100 plus 60%, you get 160%. So the 480 is the value of the selling price. So it means we put 480 here, and then the figure that we want to look for is this one, which is our cost of sales. This one is the figure that we are looking for. So it's just saying we can make a proportion out of those relations that we have there by saying what we have is the 160% that we have there. So it becomes a numerator. What you don't have is 100% that we are looking for. The given figure is 480. And then if you do that, let's try to multiply that one. By calculating that correctly, you are supposed to get 300. So it means our cost of sales of the goods that have been changed is 300. So this is the amount that we are just going to put it in the cost of sales column. So we are now saying 300. So 300 here. Remember, we know nothing here to make our cost of sales is 300 rands only. So this is what we have. We can go back there and check on the next transaction on how are we going to adjust it. Come here. We have got the next transaction being on 19, which is our 19 May. So our 19 May, we've got cash sales according to the register row, which is 4,200 rands for CRR 23. So obviously CRR 23 becomes our document number. So we are just going to put our CRR 23 as a document number, and then the date is 19, and then the amount of the sales we put 4,200. Then under that we have another statement that we have there reading received 2,200 rands from W since a tenant with the render of a building issued and issued receipt 21. So we have got two transactions that are there. We've got two transactions that are there. That means we've got this transaction and this transaction. But in all these transactions, we are seeing that we are receiving money. So whenever we are receiving money, it means we are going to transfer them in the cash receipts journal. So this is what we have. So we can start by the first one, whereby we have cash sales of 4,200. So we are just picking the details in terms of document number CR23, and then the date is 19. Then we can just enter it, and the amount is 4,200. We can enter it as such. We go there to the cash receipts journal now. We are now here. We are saying our document number. We put CRR23, CRR23, and then the day. Remember, it's 19, so we're saying 19 here. Then on details, remember they are sales. These are cash sales, so we can just say sales here. And then we go to the analysis of receipts. This is the total amount of the sales, which is 4,200. And then we can now try to see in terms of the amount. So remember, the 4,200 is the same amount again that we are going to put in the bank column, which is 4,200. And then on sales, we've got 00. And then this figure we are going to also calculate the, let's try to see, we are going to calculate the figure for cost of sales, because these are sales. So we can also make that proportion, whereby we are saying we have got our 160% representing our total sales. 160% is equal to 4,200. So the figure that we are looking for is 100%. This is the figure that we want. Remember, we said what you don't have, numerate 100 over what we have, 160. That the given figure, which is 4,200. Then we can see the figure that we are going to get there. So if you multiply as such, you see that you are going to get 2,625. 2,625 representing your cost of sales. So when cost of sales you are here, so we are now saying 2,625 is our cost of sales. So this is the figure that we have. So this is what we have. So on the issue of amount, it means we have got analysis of receipts 4,200 here. So this 4,200, we are not supposed to post it here. We can just put it in the column of sales. So what we are saying here, we are saying here we are going to have your 4,200. So this is what we have in terms of this transaction of cash sales. So we can go back to check on the next transaction that we have according to this question. So remember, on the second part, we've got received 2,200 rands from W Saints, a tenant for the render of a building issued receipt number 21. So this is the money that has been received also. So what we are supposed to do is to enter them again in the cash receipts journal. Since we are receiving, the amount is 2,200, and we are receiving this money from W Saints, and it's for rent. Remember, it's for rental of a building. So this is rent received, and then a description of document number is receipt number 21. So these are the details that we are just going to take note when we are recording it in the cash receipts journal. So if you come here, you'll see that now we are saying the document number. Remember, we have got 21, receipt number 21. So we are just going to say document number 21. Then on the day, it's same day, which is 19. We just put 19 here, and then the details we are receiving this money from W Saints. So we are saying W Saints, and then on the amount is 2,200. And obviously, this money is going to be received through bank. So we are saying 2,200 again under bank. And then we do not have a column for rent received here. So if you do not have a column of the description of what we are receiving, we can just post it under sundry accounts. So under sundry accounts, we're saying the amount that we have there is 2,200. So we're saying 2,200. And then the details, we are saying this is rent received. So we can just say here rent. This is rent received. So this is what we have according to this transaction. So we can go again to check on the next transaction. So we are now here on the last one, which is on 30. And it reads, received a check from Pendley in settlement of the amount owed by year to date, issued receipt 22. So let's just take note of the description of the transaction. Date is 30, and then document number 22. And this money is being received from Pendley. This is case receipts journal again. But the amount is not given there, but we are being told that it's a settlement of the amount owed by year to date. So remember, this one is our data. If you go up there, you would see that this person, we originally issued an invoice of 1,200. Let's take note of that, 1,200. And then this person retained some goods along the way on the 14th. Penley retained administrative goods to the value of 480, which means this 1,200, we are going to subtract our 480 to get the balance now. So if you subtract there, it means after the returning of goods, the balance was now, let's try to see, was now 720. So this 720 is the balance that is being explained here by saying received a check of from Penley in settlement of the amount owed by year to date. So the amount owed by year to date now is the balance that we are talking about, which is 708. So this is the amount that we received from Penley through check. So the amount we now have it, which is our 720, which is this one. So we can just go to enter that one in the cash receipt journal. So if you come here, you see that we are now saying, in terms of document number, remember we've got 22. 22 is our document number, and then the date is 30. And then this money is being received from Penny, and then the amount is 720, and then we can put it under a bank. And remember the description of this. This is a debtor who's paying a man. So we got a column for debtors control. So it means we're just going to post it under debtors control. So what happens is if this amount does not qualify under sales, cost of sales, debtors control, you're supposed to put it under sundry accounts. But in this case, we are having a debtor paying man, which means it's going to fall under debtors control. So you're not going to post it under the sundry account. So if you go back to the question, you'd see that this is the last transaction that we have on the last part there. So it means this marks the end of our question. Those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share. We are still coming with more videos as we prepare for exams. That's for this video. I'm signing out and we'll meet again in the next video.